All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Chris, and I'm a Master's of Development Practice student here at the University of Arizona. For my outreach assistantship, I work for the Center for Regional Food Studies, which is a research institution within the university. And so, what the Center for Regional Food Studies does is they use applied research methodologies and community outreach to try to create a more sustainable and equitable food system in Southern Arizona and impact positive change. And so what I've been working on with the Center for Regional Food Studies is carrying out a series of systematic literature reviews looking at a variety of different topics pertaining to the food system. And so the one I'm going to highlight today is a literature review I carried out looking at food policy councils. So a food policy council is sort of a body of representatives from various segments of the local food system. And they usually aim to create a space to discuss food issues, to promote intersectoral coordination, to influence policy, and then to create programs and services that positively impact the food system and by extension, help people be more food secure. And so first I did a review of 20 or so food policy councils from around the country. And I looked at how they were organized, what their funding structures looked like, what worked well for the more successful ones, and what were some things to avoid for the less successful ones. And afterwards, I composed my notes and my observations into a sort of best practices report, which I've sort of demonstrated here with my poster. The report itself highlights a number of innovative practices from some of the more successful food policy councils, as well as looking at sort of some rules of thumb for operation, as well as sort of things to avoid, pitfalls, red flags among the less successful food policy councils that often didn't make it. So what can we learn from these examples, right? And so what's cool is that the document will be actually utilized pretty soon in concert with research from another graduate student in order to identify sort of some of the gaps in Tucson's food policy and inform the Pima County Food Alliance. So the Pima County Food Alliance is Southern Arizona's local food policy council, and they just received a fairly large grant to revitalize the food policy council, revamp it, and create new structures. So they'll actually be using the research I'm doing now to inform their planning process, which is really cool. And beyond that, I'm working currently on sort of a write-up of an explanation of what happened with the PPP loans, the Paycheck Protection Program loans, and how there were systemic problems in how these loans were distributed that negatively impacted local farmers and by extension negatively impacted the food system. And so with this report, the idea is to identify the problems in order to fix them and make sure that in future instances of disasters, disaster relief funds will be more equitably distributed among the population and create a more sustainable food system. And that's all I got for you today. And thank you so much for your time.